Alright guys, so I did it. I finally went through all of the gameplay of Jurassic World. Thanks to I think it was Pack Attack, something numbers. So very special thanks to that guy. I also watched the Brick Show, but they were going too slow on that. Too slow. So because of that, I had to go to that other guy, and very special thanks to Pack Attack. So here is what went down. Here is what went down on this. So there has been lots and lots of kills, lots of deaths in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World as well. Jurassic World was the one that actually topped the recent highest one. Before Jurassic World, it was actually the Lost World Jurassic Park that had the most kills with 9 people dying, while Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic Park both tied for second with 5 people dying. But Jurassic World blew that out of the water with 11 plus people dying because I couldn't actually tell how many tourists got killed by the pteranodon / the pterodactyls. So with that said, here is what exactly happened. Let me just say, I'm just going to give you a nice little rundown, but in this whole entire thing, this was for kids. And because it was for kids, they made sure that there was no deaths whatsoever that was hinted at. They only hinted at like at least one death. That's it. They hinted at one death. But they were able to do it because there's really no plot where Peter from the Lost World would actually return. So they could actually wrote him in, but it's like... So, anyways, in the first part, in Jurassic World, in Jurassic Park, the first thing was that 5 people were supposed to die. We have one person that most likely really died, and then we have 2 others who we thought were dead, but as soon as you play at the end of the Jurassic Park scene or gameplay, you find out that the other 2 didn't die. And then we find out, which I think that was funny, that in Jurassic World, they actually showed that the people who were left behind, the hunter, the fat guy, and the person who was played by Samuel L. Jackson, all 3 of them were actually alive and in the old building that was once Jurassic Park. I think that was the visitor center. So that is very, very crazy. The only stupid part I have to say, because that's just one thing how I do, is that if the newest park has been created, why the hell did you guys just hide in that building instead of going to the new park being like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, you're free from the island, oh my gosh. So I would figure that, yeah, that could have happened. They could have actually went home. They could actually have went to their families, even though I think the fat guy didn't have a family, and they could actually have been reunited. But instead, well, actually, I think the hunter didn't have a family either. Either way, I'm just saying that those guys could have either worked for Jurassic World theme park, or just the fact that they could have just got a ride home. I'm sorry, but that's just one thing that was like, yeah. Next up is the Jurassic World, the Lost World of Jurassic Park. One person died in that. I think it's just because, well, Peter, that guy that was technically the bad guy in that one, we're not going to get to see him again. He's not ever used ever again, because in Lost World of Jurassic Park, he got killed by the baby Tyrannosaurus. So, yeah, there's no way how they could reuse him in the newest movies. So it's kind of like, yeah, so technically this is the only death that happened, and it's because it was cut off screen. We didn't actually get to see in the Lost World Jurassic Park either. We just got hinted at as well that he got killed. So I think this is the only death that happened where he's dead, but for kids, the good news is that he was killed off screen, so they can get away with that. The next one is Jurassic Park 3, and 5 people died in there because, well, it was just a quote-unquote expedition to find a son. Yeah, which technically was before then just nothing but a hang loose situation. The fact that they've been doing lots and lots of stuff, and now they want to actually risk their lives to see Jurassic Park, or at least the the quote unquote island of Jurassic Park. So, anyways, yes. So everyone, there's 5 people that's supposed to have died. They all are alive, actually. Yeah, they figured out some way through it. And of course, let me go back to what happened in Jurassic Park. The first one is the fact that the first person that's supposed to have died was actually the Velociraptor handler. But instead, they found a way to wiggle out of that, and they actually had the handler holding a sausage. And the Velociraptors took his sausage, and his arm is safely still intact. In this version, the same thing, but a little bit worse. The fact that the pilot was eaten along with the co-pilot was eaten as well. And he was holding the satellite phone. Instead, the satellite phone got eaten by the Spinosaurus, and then there you go. I mean, there you go. That's all they had to do. What's even crazier is, I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute because I have some other notes. But yeah, so everyone's alive. Even the dude that was supposed to be the mercenary, quote unquote mercenary, he's alive too. So it's just that the little loopholes of their left people behind is the only thing that was really the true part of it. It's like, yeah, well, since you're not guys gonna kill them, you guys got to remember that those guys have to be accountable too. So it would have been a good idea that it's like for Jurassic World 3, they actually found inland. You had I guess the few that was still alive, you had the 5 that was still alive now. They could have found inland. They all fainted. They were like, water, and all that stuff. And then they were like, yeah, bring them in there. We gotta pull them in. I'll get to that one too. There's something else I have to talk about. But as for Jurassic World, 11 plus people died. 11 plus. And in this, we have 4 people who actually died. And I'm going to put in big quotations because technically they're in a Mosasaurus. And of course, for people who knows what happens is that when you're in the stomach of a person or an animal, you will get digested and you're dead. So it's kind of like, yeah, so they're dead. They technically are dead. It's just that they're right now in the digestive system. I do have to admit, like, in the first Jurassic Park one, the lawyer did get eaten. And that was the thing that if you watch to the very end, you'll understand that the hunter and the lawyer both got eaten, but they got coughed out. It's like, yeah, they got coughed out. So there is hope for the 4 of them and the Endorex or whatever. I'm just going to say that. Yeah, so there is hope for them. They are able to get coughed out if they wish, so choose to. Alright, so they disappear when unneeded. You had raptors playing soccer. You had raptors tickling a guy. You had dinosaurs playing. Dinosaurs scoring when the Olympian champion girl, yeah, she was in the Lost World Jurassic Park, got rid of the punch. Oh yeah, that was in Jurassic Park 3. That's how Sam, instead of actually getting punched in the face by one of the stupid dudes, he actually just said, I'm gonna go to sleep. Tell me when we get there. Yeah. They made Kirby rich. Yeah, so Mr. Kirby actually is having just nothing but a paint place. And not only that, but they used all their money to sink in to save their son. And they don't really have any money at all. But to show that he has like $300 and he's just flashing the cash. Yeah. So you had Spinosaurus in Medieval, the fact that he was in that, the medieval thing, the fact that you have the person go in there and they're locked and you have to face an arms, wrists all stuck in there. Yeah, so they had that. The Spinosaurus versus Tyrannosaurus. The Spinosaurus is supposed to have won that battle. He actually supposed to have killed the Tyrannosaurus. But no. They decided something else. They decided you play as the Tyrannosaurus and you beat the Spinosaurus. That was weird. And then you have the whole satellite mixed up, the fact of how in the world did they meet each other. So in this case, they actually used the satellite phone, for everyone in the group to reunite together. I kind of forgot what happened in Jurassic Park 3 for them to reunite, but I know it wasn't that. And number 2, and I understand why they didn't do this, is because the reason why they didn't do the original thought is that they have to make everyone actually a part of the digging thing. Yeah, so they have to dig in the poop to find the satellite phone, which you would figure out of all the things that they would actually allow to happen, this would be the scene that you're like, oh man, that's just so amazing. They were able to use this. That was so amazing. Instead, no, they just skipped over it because they have to give every single person the ability to dig in the poop. And they were like, oh, but we want just one person to dig in the poop, not all of them. So it's like, yeah, I know it's horrible to do that capability, but on the other hand, it's kind of like, you should just allow it to happen. You should just allow it to happen. Well, anyways, besides that, I'll get to this other part in a minute. Well, anyway, so you have the baby pteranodons. That was kind of funny. The fact that the reason why the big pteranodon took the kid was because he had baby pteranodons that she wanted to feed. Yeah, that didn't happen in the movie. Spinosaurus coughed up the phone. Sorry, not the food, the phone. So the Spinosaurus coughed up the phone, and there's no poop digging. That was weird. Like I said previously, yeah, it was in the movie. That would have been something that would have been icing on the cake if they did, but didn't do it. One thing is that they didn't make the call, but the helicopter showed up, and the other two, no idea where the other two are. But yeah, so it turns out that in Jurassic Park 3, you had Sam calling Sarah, and she knew that he was in trouble. So she called the Army, the National Guard, the Navy. She called lots of people to make sure that he is safe. And that was amazing. It was just crazy that all of a sudden they all showed up there with their guns. It was like, oh dang, they're ready for battle. They're going to shoot every single dinosaur that comes near them. And that would have been awesome if dinosaurs started charging right at them. That would have been so cool to watch. Just like how we saw Jason get shot the frick up in that movie, one of those movies. There was something that was weird to me. They mashed up the latest movie. There was lots of stuff that was different about Jurassic World. Lots of stuff. They actually changed the movie quite a bit in that game, in that last bit of the game. So yeah, they had a different take on the raptor scene. The fact that they had the raptors hunt and stuff instead of just having them actually being a little bit of training. But I guess they were doing training. I guess they were. So, but they just made it a little bit better, I guess. No difficult calm, I guess. Yeah, I forgot what that meant. The game made it their fault. Yeah, in fact, with the door opening, the big door opening, so they made it their fault instead of just the fat guy who was like, oh my gosh, you guys are gonna die, oh my gosh, we're gonna die, I gotta open the door, I'm a wuss, run away. It's like, yeah. Instead of this case, they actually made it that the door is the only way out, and they also made it that for the movie / the game to continue, they had to figure out some way to actually make it the door open. Which is kind of funny how they made that work. Now let's see. The 3 lost guys showed up from part 1. Was in there. Yep. Due to the ACU shot open the freaking bird cage. It wasn't a plane crash that did that, even though it was actually supposed to have been 2 openings, not just the big opening right there. Let's see. I think that's about it. Yeah, so that's everything that you needed to know about Jurassic World, the game. There's just 2 things I need to talk about. Number 1 is the fact that when it comes to the girls, which is kind of weird, is that the girls apparently are very, very athletic. I mean, they all have the skills of Olympian champions. Number 2, they scream, yeah, and they have a powerful scream or shriek that could actually break windows. Oh man, I mean, the first one was funny as hell. The second one, I can kind of understand, but the third one, Not that much. I'm glad that in the fourth part of this, they didn't actually use that scream thing. I would just still say technically they didn't need to have to scream in the third act at all. I forgot which person that did it in Jurassic Park 3, but I would just say the person with the gun would just take the gun, smash the glass open. There you go. You don't even need to scream. You just need the guy to hit it. Yeah, just allow him to tap the thing 3 times. Psst, there you go. Or the tech guy. Technically, you can actually have him just kick open the thing. Yeah, just straight up kick open. Yeah, so basically you have like a little bit of a girl thing here. Oh yeah, and the girls, except, yeah, I was going to add this in, but thanks to Jurassic Park 3, they debunked it. But the girls, for the first one and the second one, the third and fourth, they didn't do it, but the first and second one, just because the first one, where it was like, oh, well, Sarah was digging in the poop, that doesn't mean that the freaking other girl that was in the Lost World Jurassic Park, she has to dig in the poop. I was like, yeah, that wasn't needed. That was something that was like, yeah, that wasn't needed. The third and fourth one, they had the guy do it, which, that was okay. That was understandable. Some of those that was understandable right there. So, alright. Is that about it? That's everything I need to talk about? I think so. Oh, wait. There's one other one that I kind of forgot. Oh, yes. The last thing to talk about is just the fact of the voiceovers that they use. They actually use the actual movies for all the movies except for the last one, which is very, very... I would say it depends, because it seems like they used the audio track from the newest movie, but on the other hand, it seemed like they just got someone who was able to sound like him. So I'm not sure. I really am not sure on this. But I do have to say the first 3, which this really sold me on why to get the game, is just the fact of they did it in a style that was like Saturday TV Funhouse from Saturday Night Live. That used to be a thing until I don't know what happened. I don't give a crap and I don't want to think about what happened. But anyways, because of it just has the feel of Saturday TV Funhouse, as if they actually made a video game of Saturday TV Funhouse. That's just one thing that will sell me on actually buying this game, is because of that. Because it had that awesome feel of Saturday TV Funhouse. The fact that they did the animation, but they used audio track from something else. That is just kind of how TV Funhouse worked. The only thing I would just have to say that was a kind of side note, and I forgot about the other thing. I'll talk about the other thing in a minute. One thing that was a real messed up side note is just the fact of you still have to fight bad guys. And the same mechanic as in all the Lego Batman and also the Lego Marvel is just the fact of you beat the crap out of guys and they go to pieces, which I kind of don't like that. That's the reason why I wouldn't want to buy any of the Lego games, is because of that. I mean, if they actually did something different, or they just did what usually it is when it comes to video games, just to let them go bleep, 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 disappear, instead of pieces and disappear. When it was like pieces disappear, I'm like, oh, that makes me sad. No, man, no. Well, anyways, I forgot to just mention that in Jurassic World, there was that battle with the Endorex and also the Ankylosaurus. I think that's what to call it. Yeah, so with the Ankylosaurus, technically that one's supposed to die. Yeah, he's supposed to have died. Instead, yet again, another rewrite. So, because apparently dinosaurs can't get killed and people can't get killed, they rewrote it and allowed the Ankylosaur. You control the Ankylosaur and you defeat Endorex, which, yeah, so that's just the interesting thing, is that no killing whatsoever in this video game. There's no deaths, even though some were hinted at. Other than that, it's like there was no deaths. Well, anyways, I would say this is a fun game. This is not a good game to actually use if you haven't watched any of the Jurassic Park movies and you want to catch up. Yeah, these should not be used for that. I would say the first one and the second one, but the second one does skip a little bit. The first one, they didn't skip anything at all. The second one, they skipped. third one, they definitely skipped and rearranged stuff. And of course, you'll definitely go see Jurassic World today. Well, anyways, thank you for watching, and that was a good video game to watch.